Okay, good afternoon, guys. This is, everybody knows me. Who don't want to know me, don't want, anyway, kidding. Um, like many of you guys, like many thousands of Caymanians, we've been very, very, very concerned, upset, berated. Can't find the words to describe how we feel about what has happened in our beautiful Cayman Islands on Sunday night last 2024. All right, so I'm going to do this because everybody's busy. So I thought this stuff out. I didn't just kind of, I've been thinking, praying, and I've been actually probably like a lot of you guys feeling I shouldn't say nothing about it, or my 2 cents might not matter, or who am I to think? We all have solutions, guys. Okay, one of us, just one of us, however many people, one of us can make or break a family, a society. One can make a difference for bad or for good. So my point is, please don't feel that you guys like me, that I felt, I'm not gonna bother say it, I don't have the answers. And no, I don't have the answers. We all have a part to play in what is happening in our island. So I have thought about this, prayed about it, and came up with two things. One, what is our problem? What are we doing that we need to stop as civilians, as a society? And then the other part is, what can our government do? And again, I know we all like to blame, throw everything at the government. We guys, every one of us, need to take responsibility in our homes, in our society, in our organizations, of what part we have to play to make this a better place. All right. So again, like I said, I didn't even want to do this video. I honestly did not want to do this video. I prayed and asked God, but I just had a, because a lot of times you hear this fear and this, the bullying and the scaring and all that. But guess what, guys? If we don't speak up now, guys, if we don't use our voices now, we soon gonna be whereby, like so many of other Caymanians are leaving our country, our island, and going to live in another country because life has become intolerable to live. Right now is the cost of living. So many of our people have left and gone to another country to live. And if things continue the way it is, just a crime will not just run us, will not just run investors, will run us to our own island. So therefore, let's all feel like we have a part to play. And again, I've written down a few things of what we as a society, Caymanians, whether they be status holders, native Caymanians, there's stuff we have to stop doing that is becoming part of the problem. That is part of the problem. Later, we will then talk about what the government also has to do. And a lot of that is laws that they have already put in place, guys, that needs to be enforced. Yeah, those are the things that I think they need to do. So number one, I'm gonna get right to it, guys. Number one, there's some of us, I'm gonna say us in this, I'm not, but I'm gonna still say some of us in this country need to stop destroying our country and selling our birthright. There's people that are native Caymanians, and there's many that also became Caymanians by paper, if you want to call it that, or by status, and are marrying people hoping that 2 salaries put together is going to make life better. So, and some people are just, I understand some people are doing it just getting paid to do it, accepting money, selling our birthright, guys, selling what many of our parents have worked hard to build. And it's a crying shame. We're supposed to be one of the better, best off countries, islands in the world. And slowly, the quality of life is deteriorating. I don't know, some people admit it slowly, sometimes I think very rapidly. It's deteriorating. And so we need to stop that. The marge of convenience, where a lot of times it's not love, sometimes it's not love, it's most times it's not love, it's accepting money, all right, for it. Other times it's hoping it's love, but to bring money into the household to see if 2 ends would meet, yeah, and see if 2 salaries would make it work. All right, and that's on very, very unfortunate, guys. There needs to be a commitment to marriage. Sorry, there needs to be a commitment for marriage to work, or it's not going to do that, because life has challenges. Okay, so that's now number one. Number two, we ladies, aunts, uncles, fathers, mothers, we need to start teaching our children, though, especially our boys, some responsibilities. We've got to start doing it. So many of our young boys are just, a big cause of our problems, guys, is too many boys. Look at the statistics. How many boys? It's about 6 out of every 10 boys, about 6 boys being raised in a home without a good father, without a good role model. All right, so a lot of times these boys, young men, are becoming boys, becoming young men, teenagers to young men, going out on the street, okay, and trying to find power, and trying to find or vengeance, or whatever they're trying to find on the street there, and trying to feel a bond with their friends, or what, to feel, what would I say, security, or to feel a part of a family. And so a lot of this is caused, guys, problems in our society is caused by fatherless homes. Good men in our homes, yeah. And again, back to the marriage and convenience again. We continue to mar people who have a family over there and a family here. It's hard to financially afford to be a good father on $2,500 a month, $3,000. That's what statistics shows. That's the average household earner, salary per person. So if you put two of them together, you making 25, he making 105. That's 5,000. Okay, but you got 3 kids here and 2 over there. It's hard to try to make life a good, decent quality of life on that kind of salary. All right, so we need to stop that. And like I said, we need to teach our boys to don't be throwing their sperm around the place, guys. Don't be having a child here, having sexual activity here, thinking, like I've met, I do a little construction, and I've asked some guys, I've observed some of them having 3 or 4 or 5 different baby mothers. And I'm like, how did this happen? How are you the father of 3 or 4 or 5 different children? I met her, but this didn't work out. And then I tried it again, and then, I thought that she didn't work out. She changed. And so you have this effect. But unfortunately, guys, we in the Caribbean, we need to stop the crap. A lot of it is, sorry, mosquitoes are out. A lot of it is, a lot of our men think that it's okay, our Caribbean men think it's okay to have a baby mama there, a baby mama here. A lot of them think they're men by how many children they can throw around the place. That is breathing society's problems, guys. These are boys growing up without a father, okay, and without a good role model. And sometimes a lot of women, they put up with not great fathers in the home and undesirables in the home, because they said, I want my child to grow up with a father, or I need 2 salaries here to make this work. And a lot of times, like I know way back when I was helping with some young man, the mother said to me she would allow the boy to go over to the father's house on the weekend. And she said to me, you know what? It's better sometime I should not make him go, but he wants to go with his father because he can have his way. But she said when he come back home, a lot of times he's worse off. His behavior, his attitude is worse than when he left here. So I want us to understand, guys, girls, guys, people living in Cayman Islands. If you destroy the Cayman Islands and it's in a steady decline socially, morally, family life is deteriorated horribly. If we continue that trend, guys, no investor going to want to live amongst us. People that have funds, money, not going to want to invest in the Cayman Islands, guys. And we'll have yet another Caribbean island that is stricken with crime and violence. And who's going to want to live here, guys? Who's going to want to live here? All right, so we need to teach our boys responsibility. Now we need to teach our girls also some self-respect. We really, really, really need to. We need to teach our girls some self-respect, because there's so many girls, and let's start, well, mosquitoes are guys, sorry. So many women that, girls that, they have a child by one guy, and then this other guy comes along and tells them then that they're gonna be a father to the help her let ends meet and be a father to her and the child. So when you look, she has a child by someone else. Okay, so now she has 2 children to raise. All right, in the hopes of this guy is going to help her raise 2 children. So when you look, she's a mother of 2 children, 2 different baby daddies, and hoping that life is going to get better. And a lot of times it does not. When you look, as Steve Harvey said, when you look, a lot of times it's a girl holding the bag, it's a woman holding the bag, I mean the child, gotta go back home to mom's house or whatever. It's the mother, if you're a good mother, are having to raise that child sometime alone. There it is again, guys. Boys growing up with like a good role model. And again, I totally agree. A lot of times you can find a good role model sometimes, if, meaning sometimes don't force that child to be with the father, or just because he's a father, and or he's making me a father but he's not, may not be a daddy. All right, that's 2 different things. You're forcing a child to be there because you're like, oh, I don't want him growing up with like a father. But a lot of times the father, a lot of times, can be a bad influence. All right, so sometimes you got to find a good Sunday school teacher, a good, and let me sidetrack here quickly about mentors. Also, be careful who what organizations, because I'm gonna get to that later, but since I'm in here, be careful what organizations you send your children to be mentored by. Be very careful, because again, I repeat, I'm gonna get to that in a few minutes about the organizations that, you know, extracurricular activities and stuff you can get your child involved in, yeah, that government is sponsoring. But I repeat, there is some mentors there's some people, it's shocking. I've seen people that say they're mentors, and you look at them on Facebook, and there's a bottle of wine. Every time you look at a picture with them, there's a bottle of wine to their head, repeatedly, in pictures, but yet they're mentors of children. Like, really? Like, what are we telling our children about what do you do for fun? And we all know, many of us know, and if your family has been affected, bless your soul. But our families have been affected by alcoholism, many of our families. And so therefore, teaching children, this is how you have fun, is alcohol and partying and being half naked and getting drunk is the way to have fun. Don't tell me you're improving family life, guys, okay? So yes, be careful who you have about mentoring your child if you get, you know, extracurricular activities and stuff, no matter what organization they come from. All right, so moving along again on the sorry, I want to go back one little bit on the value of our women, right? It's sad though, you've heard it, guys, you've seen it. Women that has children, many of them are partying, drinking, and their children are left home with a grandparent. Hey guys, society, do we accept this is a real problem as well? Many children, again, weekends that the mom should be home doing stuff with the child, or getting ready for church on Sunday morning, or making sure they go to youth group, or helping out at youth group with the child, or if they want to go Cayman Let, go have ice cream, go with the child. But instead, we have a real problem, guys, in Cayman. We have a real problem where many mothers, people that should know better, are drinking and partying on the weekend, and children are left home with grandparents. Ladies, girls, we need to stop the foolishness, guys. It is destroying our society. And I repeat again, if we create another poverty-ridden, crime-stricken island, who wants to live here? The crime, the way of life is going to go down worse, guys. Who's going to want to live here? What island are you going to have left to what kind of society you want? So guys, every one of us have to take responsibility for the part we're playing and what kind of island we're making. Every single one of us. All right, next. Then we also, again, I wrote this down, I'm trying to stay on target here. Okay, and then speaking about organizations, as I said earlier, I also hear repeatedly about, oh, we need a trade school. We need a trade school. We need more stuff for children to do. Guys, we have youth, we have some good churches. Yeah, we got churches that are all over the place now because, yeah, a lot of people, unfortunately, many people, I totally agree, many people are using church and building churches for financial gain. I will admit that as somebody that raised in church and loved church, many are doing it for a popularity contest and for a means to exert themselves on platforms and a means of financial gain. I totally get that, and that's true, and I regret to say that, but it's a fact. But then on the flip side, there is also good genuine churches where there's some law and order, and people, pastors and leaders and that teach our children, our young people, right from wrong, to take responsibility, to take out in the home, to help out in the home, to go to school, to not be smoking weed, to be responsible, to tell them really right from wrong. There's some good genuine churches that truly mean to point children in the right direction. And so I would say, try to get your kids involved in those good, solid churches. Now again, if you want those parents whereby if a Sunday school teacher or a teacher tries to discipline your child and you're going to go curse the teacher out or curse out the Sunday school teacher or tell the youth group leader, oh, he's not coming back here anymore, then you're teaching the child. And this is just because the person, teacher, mentor, choir director, whoever, discipline the child. If you're teaching the child that because they get disciplined, they're not coming back anymore, or I stop and come to this church, you're teaching them, guys, not to respect authority, not to go by school rules. Like, you know how many people I see, man, making their children wear their hair all kind of way, right? You're allowing that child, and then when they end in prison and when they won't go by society rules, then you wonder why. But young children, and they are allowed to carry their hair all kind of way, even though there's an education system that says how the dress code are. Many of these children are allowed to carry their hair long, unkept, all this stuff, braided, yeah, all over the place, but yet, and so they're teaching them to be defiant, that you don't go by rules. You can do as you please. Oh, I should be able to, to be artsy and show myself and express myself. You're teaching them, guys, from a young age how to defy authority, how not to listen to teachers, how to have their own way, or you quit the church or you quit the youth group. Not good, guys. These are not, when you do this to your children, you're not teaching them, you're not equipping them for life. You're not teaching them to respect authority. You're not teaching them how to respect constructive criticism, right? You're not teaching them to be a son or a daughter who that in your old age that can help you have respect for older people, help you then make life a lot easier because you've worked hard for years raising them, and you're not raising a child then who's going to care for you as an older person, respect you, help you out. When you no longer, when your health or whatever reason, you no longer can perform and take care of them, then you no longer have a child who's going to be sympathetic and compassionate and caring enough to help take care of you, all right, in your old age. Old age could be 50 years old, could be less than that. You could get disabled to the point where you can't work, right? What kind of child then are you raising when you tell them that they're going to quit Sunday school or quit this because an adult tried in a positive way, in a constructive, healthy way to discipline them? All right. Next, help them to embrace the opportunities that are here, guys. For example, again, I said it earlier on, I hear about we need a trade school. We have trade school, guys. Inspire Cayman, funded by our government. You have UCCI. You have Public Works Department They are running, and I've heard so many adults like, we need a proper trade school here. Guys, there is, I know for sure, all right? I've seen it, I've watched how the kids dress themselves, carry themselves, uniforms and stuff. Looks to me well organized as far as I can. Public trade school, public works. And not only that, guys, they are also given a stipend. We hear, oh, children are unemployed. Really, like unemployed. I do a little construction, guys. Plumbing, I pay a lot to my plumber. I ask him. My tiler, my electrician, a good carpenter. They make a very good living, guys, if they are skilled, good tradesmen, have a good attitude, and show up to work. Not all hang out over on the weekend and miss here and miss there. So again, we're gonna have to talk about again the serious influence that alcohol and weed is playing on our workforce, on our people, on our children, guys. Okay, we need to start taking responsibility and accepting that yes, many of us have a poor work ethic, and part of it is, guys, weed, alcohol use, and weed. Let's not even talk about the harder drugs. Let's not even go there. All right. So yes, there's a trade school, guys. Trade schools, and so let's just stop talking about our government. We as taxpayers are funding this, guys. We are funding it. When government needs, look what they're doing. Look at the construction that is. Our poor island land is being sold up left, right, and center. All right. A lot of that is foreign investments. Apartments and all this stuff they're being built to fund money, strata fees, or stamp duty fees, to get money into the coffers, into the treasury, to help take care of a lot of these social problems, guys. So again, we can talk as much as we want and say the government. Do understand the government is me and you. When the government gets pressure to make things better, they're gonna find money has to come from somewhere, guys. The money is coming from somewhere, and it's coming from me and you, and it's coming from the sale of our precious land that's being sold out to provide stamp duty and all this stuff in the coffers to help take care of a lot of these social problems. So I wish we would kind of stop talking about the government, because again, the government is us, the taxpayers. When it comes to oh, we need this service, we need that service, and like, I mean, I heard one of the questions at the press briefing the other day, and where the hospital, right, and I'm shocked. I'm shocked at a hospital where, when this happened, where 7 people, you must understand, we must respect the fact that it was a catastrophe that happened there, and a bunch of people rushed to the hospital. The doctors and nurses were overwhelmed, guys. And yes, they said we are ready for national disaster, or whatever it is that the hospital and stuff is equipped. But guys, I see a lot of people getting like free medical. Look on the hospital, guys. They've had to set up signs to teach some of us that if we come there and bully doctors and nurses and badmouth them, we will not get service. The security guard will be called to take us from there. But yet a lot of people are getting free hospitalization, free medical. All right, a lot of them are natives, and a lot of them are people that just became Caymanians, are getting a lot of this stuff free. But yet we go there and we wanna harass the hospital, harass nurses, doctors, badmouth them, and demand stuff. And a lot of times it's totally free that they're getting it. They're not paying one. So listen, Caymanians, we need to straighten up. Stop the foolishness, guys. And again, when I say Caymanians, anybody living and residents, anyone living in this country, we all have a responsibility, all right, to make it better. Every one of us are part of the solution or part of the problem. All right. So again, there's trade schools. I don't want to hear about it. Inspire Cayman is, I repeat, funded nicely. Okay. Public Works, UCCI, they're there, guys. If your young man is not getting jobs, guys, send him. If he doesn't like computers, tell him. I can tell you for a fact that plumbing, electrical, carpentry is very good skills, guys. And you can build yourself. He can build himself a nice home when you have some of those good tradesman skills. This is a fact, okay? Take it from somebody who does a little bit of development herself that knows. All right, next thing we have to do, we also need to stop, guys. Here's what we also need to stop doing. Oh, okay, youth groups are saying that Friday nights, there's youth groups. And again, don't just drop your kids off, guys, a youth group and say they're going to youth group. Careful also who is youth group leaders and what church you're dropping them off at, okay? Don't say, oh, they go on to youth group. No, drop them off, find out who the teachers are, and volunteer just to be eyeballs. Just park in your car if you're tired, moms are tired, or if you want dad, just, if no more, go in the parking lot, stay there, observe, just make sure no kids are coming outside and being around the place when they should be inside listening. Volunteer. Well, your child, because you got to go back, or you should, or a lot of times they do go back and pick them up anyhow. So just be in the parking lot, parked up in your car, and just be eyeballs for the church and for the youth leaders to help watch out for what's happening on the grounds while your church is at youth group. All right, because I repeat there again, there is some youth groups that are organized. Children are taught discipline, they're taught manners, they're taught respect for authority, they're taught right and wrong. And I totally agree, there's somewhere it's not. Children get to have their way because, oh, they don't want the child to stop coming to the youth group, and they want to say, oh, I have a big youth group, but the children are very undisciplined. So there's some that let children have their way and not become those same children who can't have their way, become horrible boyfriends, become horrible fathers, become horrible husbands, because they're learned from a young age, all right, that they have to have their way or else I leaving. And again, we are responsible for this, guys. Every one of us need to take responsibility of the permissiveness. Leading next to cell phones, guys. Cell phones. Cell phones. So many children, I mean little children, guys, are given cell phones. Do parents understand that a cell phone is a really powerful instrument in the hands of a child? Anything you want to see, how to do a bomb, how to get a gun, how to become a prostitute, anything bad you want to, you can use it for good if you want to too. I use technology. I love technology, but I think I would say I'm using it for as much good as I possibly can. But in the hands of a child, kids are being exposed to so much rudeness on social media, anything, right? And so if you can give a child, they're like, oh, I need to give my child a phone so that he knows when to call me to pick him up, or I need to have contact. But guys, there's phones now. I looked in the US, but again, all we need to do is call Gabby. It's just a phone. Now I noticed last time I checked, it was in Cayman Islands, was not there on the list, right? It's just a phone, no internet on there at all. So again, they call GABBY, no internet at all. And those what some parents are given, and again, they're good there in the US. They're given the children so that when the child is finished with a game or something happens, they can call the child. But if you're going to do that, if you're going to have it where the child has to be picked up or something like that, then please take this phone back from the child, guys. After child got home safely, give me the phone. Have the phone in your possession and look through the phone. Yes, they can delete what the prayer calls. I get it. I get it. But a lot of times, once they know that mom or dad is going to take the phone, then they're going to be careful who's calling them. Look and see who's calling them. But we're in a serious position here. Some of my parents are scared to death. A lot of this stuff in broken homes, a lot of parents are being very permissive too, because they're like, oh, well, I want the child to be with me. So if I come down hard on him, he can go live with his father. And I want him to be with me. Or vice versa, there's moms. I want her to be with me. So I'm not going to come down hard on her because she might go live with the father. Ladies, parents, understand that then you're allowing your child to play one parent against the next. When a child feels that they can have their way with mommy, then they don't want to be with daddy. All right, vice versa. If they think they can have their way, why don't people agree? Parents, man, it's a huge job to be a good parent. Huge, humongous, humongous. And that's why we shouldn't be throwing our sperm all over the place. And that's why we as women need to have self-value and stop getting on our backs and opening our legs and thinking time after time and time, oh, he's going to be a good father. He this, he that. Guys, any one of us can make believe to be a good person when we want to. That's just human nature. We can put on a show when we want to, guys. We know that. Okay, that's a fact. So I've heard so many women, oh yeah, but he changed, she changed. And so when you look, but it's too culturally acceptable, guys, too culturally acceptable. And I find too many parents are supporting that behavior. I see, and I'm gonna bring it right on home, I see even Christian parents, children having kids outside of wedlock, okay? And Christian parents on there bragging about welcome to the, I'm not saying to hate your child, I'm not saying that. Anybody knows me know I love children. I'm a warrior for children. I'm an advocate, an activist. That's why I'm here now, talking about how our lives and what we're doing are going to affect children, right? So that's exactly my point. I love children, I care about them, but we need to understand, when we continue to make our young ladies feel like there's no shame in having children outside, when we like rock, I'm not saying hate them, but don't get on social media, guys, and brag about welcome to the family and all. You're making our young girls and our young boys feel that that's the way that you have children. Yeah, that it's not. God meant for it to be married, to have a family, has, you know, mom and dad, be in a household, raise your children, be two people trying to make a good human being, human being. So yeah, for sure. But you know, and then when you also do that, you're making your son think that, you know, we need to make our sons believe that yes, they should love their wives, care for their children, wait till they're ready, wait till they're financially, emotionally, socially ready to be a parent. And a lot of times, guys, that's not until you're 30, 35, or I mean 25, yeah, too. If people are serious about they're getting their home, they're working together, they are committed in a they respect the values God have about marriage and family and loving your children. All right. So, but too much in the Caribbean, though, we seem how to think that it's okay to have a group of children here, one here, a mate over there, a mate here. We need to stop the foolishness, guys, because it's causing children to grow up in a home without fathers, without two good parents, and then they're going on the streets and trying to feel family, being part of a group out on the streets there. Yeah. So let's see how help us understand that we need to see how a lot of stuff, problems are caused in life, gangs are caused, why some young people, some young men gravitate to those groups. We need to understand the reason why, guys, and we all part of the issue, right? Whenever we don't do a lot of what I mentioned earlier. What else? We mentioned youth groups, we mentioned girls respecting each other, trade schools, we mentioned that. And again, another thing, guys, and again, we're gonna get to the government later, probably in the next video, because it's getting dark. Come on, people, you can't be dropping your children off, people. Leaving children are roaming up and down. They're teenagers that need so much guidance. They're roaming up and down there when they should be in a nice youth group on a Friday night. These kids are roaming up and down, 12, 13 years old, all over the place by themselves. okay, unchaperoned. When I look around, there's teenagers walking around by themselves. And also, I would say this. I would also say this to Kamanabe. I would ask them, please. I remember when 200, 250 kids were coming to youth groups and taking part, being involved, and now you might find 15 children. And a lot of it is, when you look, they're at Kamanabe, okay, roaming around. Da, 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 da. I heard, yes, some nights a teenager got to be there. I mean, that they're allowed. I'm going to ask you guys to please change it to where Friday nights, no one under 18. Now, that's a lot of policing to do, but right now, I understand. I've had security guards said to me that it seems like families feel that there are babysitters, right? Because kids are dropped off, left there at Kamanabe, but himself roaming around. I think we need to change it, Kamanabe, to where no one under the age of 18 can come there on a Friday night. You know what that'll do? That will send the children back to where they start going back once again to their youth groups, guys. Where, and again, there's some good youth groups that where there's proper coaching and mentoring and Sunday school teachers and leaders that encourage young men to be responsible and to make something of their life. There's young women that are talked to about, pregnancy and keeping herself pure and keeping her legs, closed, and waiting till marriage and doing well in school and getting her involved in a sport or extracurricular activity. And watch that again, watch the sport, watch the activities that find out who it is mentoring your child, even at an after school program. Oh, speaking about that too, there's Boy Scouts. Talking about more organizations, guys, there's Boy Scouts that helps little boys that have turned out a lot of nice children and young men through that. Boys, Beavers, Boy Scouts, right up to the highest ranking you can go. That organization has helped a lot of young boys. So when I hear about we need more stuff in Cayman, guys, parents, it's there. It is there. Capitalize on it. Take advantage of what's there. And again, like I said, don't just have your kids and drop them off there. Don't just do that. But be careful who your child. Ask them what have they done at the thing. For example, at the schools, I think it's 3 schools on the island. They have Cadet Corps. Here again, guys, is another non-profit organization government is funding. Government mean we, the taxpayers. We're helping to fund these organizations, and there's I think 3 different parts of the Cadet Corps. I think one is instruments, marine, anyway, different parts. So if the child doesn't have an interest in one thing, they can be interested in the next, right? So that's another organization where, again, tries to help teach discipline and stuff in children. But again, yes, ask your child if they're involved in any extracurricular activity. What have they done? Who's the teacher? Just don't leave them. Just don't let them go to these, or what you're thinking, oh, they're at after school program. Know who those teachers are. Show up sometime unannounced. Volunteer to be there or something. And I know that's hard when you're working. I totally know that's hard, but I'm talking about for people that may drop their kids off school early morning and they're off at 3:30. Go to the school, pick up your kid, eat your dinner, your lunch in the car, whatever, while you're waiting for your kids. So just a suggestion, guys. All right, so I know we've been laughing, but I've thought this out, guys. This is not just impromptu. So those are the things that I feel, and again. Please, guys, even it's rumblings and rumors about it, even with the status grants, where they are marrying these people, hoping again getting 2 salaries to bring to the house, right? And hoping to make life better. And when life is no better, because they still have, this father has a group of children over there, and they have one here, and then she has her children over there, she has a group here. Guys, it's chaos and confusion. It will lead to nothing else than what we got now. A lot of crime, violence, struggling people, angry people, because when we take on children that we can't afford, guys, anybody know me? I'd love to have a brand new vehicle right now, but I'm not going to go and I'm not going to go put myself in a whole lot of expense to get a brand new vehicle, because I like the feeling of being debt free, of having a vehicle that I don't owe no money on, right? So the same thing, you can overwhelm yourself. Whether, like I said, you could buy a BMW or a Cadillac or whatever. Cadillac's out of style, so I shouldn't say Cadillac, but you can do a fancy Suburban $75,000 vehicle that can stress you out paying for, right? The same how you can do that with vehicles or a big house that's hard to keep paid for, you can do that with children. You can have children that is you can't afford. So again, parenting is hard work, guys. Please think about family planning. Keep a condom on. Yes, I believe, no, I totally agree. Yeah, no sex outside marriage. I agree. That's the way to do it, right? Wait until marriage. I totally agree. But for heaven's sake, man, if you're running all over the place there, bro, don't be throwing your sperm all over the place. It's costing society a whole lot of money. All right? Next. We're going to switch now to the government, what I think the government can do. Let's put on my specs for a bit here. Okay, one of the things that I see where government can do, and I know this is lengthy, but it has to be said. One is we got to enforce laws that we've already got on the plate, guys. We've got to enforce laws. Number one. Oh, before I say that, let me say this. As MPs and leaders, guys, let's set a good example. As leaders in this country, as MPs in this country, live a life of character, guys, yourselves. Because if young boys and young men feel that you can get caught drunk driving, and you have women over the place, and you have children outside of your marriage, what example are you? You're paid highly, very handsomely, guys, to represent your children. I mean, to represent our children, our country. At least set a good example, guys, to the men. Stop running off. We've heard rumors about our leaders. Again, I repeat again, are paid handsomely, and there's rumors about them having affairs outside of their families and children here and there. What example are you setting? All right. Also, alcohol. Okay. What example are you saying to our children, our young men, our young women about how you have fun? If every time you look, you're at a bar room. So as MPs, have a life of character and honesty, guys, and be faithful to your husband and wives. So again, I repeat, you guys are paid handsomely, very handsomely, to live a life of integrity and honesty in your homes and outside. All right, that's the first thing. Second thing is, we need immigration reform, guys. We really need immigration reform. It's turning dark, so I'm going to close on this in a few minutes. We need immigration reform. I can't remember. I need to Google it. I've heard somebody who was in the... Anyway, someone in the know that should know. I think it's Scotland or Ireland, whereby if you get married to... I can't remember, again, Scottish, Irish, whatever. Their immigration law is in no way tied to your marriage law, meaning you can get married to a person from that country, doesn't mean nothing to them. After 9 years, then you can go and apply to see if you can become a permanent resident, whatever. You can go to apply, but it has nothing to do with your marriage. All right, because countries are seeing where there's many countries grappling the same thing where we have is opportunist people who come into the country, breathing our girls. That's another thing, girls. Have some self-respect, girls. No princes are coming to save us women. Have some self-respect. Stop making men and women, and our young men, stop having children by some of these women. Some of these people are here just to have a Cayman child, guys. So when it's time for them to leave, they can't leave. Or they go to immigration and say, oh, I have a Cayman child. Same thing to the woman. Stop having these are guys, I understand, that sit down, and what they think about is how I can breathe her. They're running around breathing our girls, breathing our women, yeah? So they can turn around and say that they have a Cayman child, all right? So young men, the same thing to you. Stop throwing your sperm around. Get involved in work, a good trade school, a non-profit, again, a good help out at a youth group or something on weekends, on a charity, or help some old lady, help her do her, for boys to go help her do her yard, help her fix her plumbing, whatever. Get involved in good stuff. The devil find work for idle hands to do. I repeat, there's people that come here, and one of the things they can nice, or she's so nice and she's so pretty, and she tells me she loves me 50 times for the week, because a lot of them are wanting a Cayman child, guys, whether you're a status holder or native Caymanian, because they know if something happens, they can then say, oh, I have a family here, okay, I need to stay, I need my permit, I have a child to raise, okay. A lot of that's done for that, guys. So girls and ladies and boys, stop allowing people to breathe us, to use us, to get to stay here. I was supposed to say that earlier, but I didn't. So back to that again. Immigration reform, we got to stop giving people permanent residence just because they're married to Caymanian. We need to stop. Again, I need to Google and find out which country, or ask that was person in the legal fraternity, I think it was, who told me about the country where the immigration law is totally separate from the marriage law. So those people are not getting status just because they got married to Caymanian, okay? Or they're not getting permanent residence because they got married to Caymanian. No, they don't. They just have to wait for their time up and they go and apply, and has nothing to do with the fact that they're married to Caymanian. They need to do that. They need to do that here. Immigration reform. Next, we need to start also, guys, government, so we're talking about the government now. We need to put a moratorium like yesterday on big projects. We got our land is all, I'm wondering what we're going to do now when it's all gone. Okay, what are we going to do? We need to stop the capital projects like now, these big old projects, a big set of apartments. A lot of these are investors, guys, investors, hotels. We need to stop it because it's putting a demand for people in the construction field. I repeat again, it's putting a demand for people in the construction field, and a lot of people that come here in that field, other fields too, but I'm just going to deal with that now. A lot of them are coming here not even well trained, not even good tradesmen, and so they come here, and a lot of times they can't keep busy. They can't make a decent living because someone took out a permit for them, but they're not very good tradesmen, so they can't keep a job. They can't be employed every day. They cannot be, right? Because they're not good tradesmen. So this is who we're taking out permits and all this stuff for, and there are a lot of them are not good people, guys, and it's destroying Cayman, it's damaging Cayman. So we need to stop just taking permits for this, one, that, one, the other, and no certificates to prove of what kind of skills they have. No certifications a lot of time. Thank God for the plumbers and electricians that get certified, but it's mason guys, and I'll make that another recommendation later about what a construction field needs to do, to get licensed carpenters and licensed masons, to have a little better quality of people that's coming here. So when you give them something to do, guys, you have good work done, and you can keep them employed, and they can keep employed so that they can make a decent living in Cayman. So they're not here selling weed down at the beach, or having a Caymanian they can breathe so they can get to stay here, or find out how they can import guns. That's the foolishness that's happening in our country, guys, because a lot of us are taking out permits for people that are not skilled, and therefore they can't really survive in Cayman properly because they don't have good skills to survive. They come here because they were dying to get out of their country that has been destroyed, and no employment, and coming here ill-equipped, no skills, bad behavior, bad thoughts, street thoughts of how to survive only, and it's damaging Cayman. All right, what else? Next thing we have to do is, so I said to put a moratorium, government, on big capital projects now, like yesterday. We have more people here now than we can manage, government. We have more people here. We put a moratorium, planning department, no more big massive projects. Now little single family homes, that's different, but big apartment blocks and hotels and stuff, no more, guys, no more moratorium. We cannot. We need chance to take back Cayman, guys, to get control of things. Right now, we're not further off, guys, government. We are not one better off by saying, oh, we need money. We still need money. We need stamp duty. We need revenues from all these jobs. But guys, as we're running into 100,000 people, we are taking more and more roads. We need more roads now to take care of all these people. We need more police to help manage these. We need more hospital staff, okay, because a lot of them come here, believe it or not. I know personally some came here on a permit, and they are on this little peanut health insurance, and they're ending up on our HSA getting medical because they're a lot of time their employer not paying for them to have a good health insurance. So we need more doctors, more policemen, more roads, guys. So we're not better off. Government, moratorium please on major developments. All right, and lastly, the US is doing it. the US is doing it left, right, and center, as my understanding. When they commit any minor crimes, guys, minor misdemeanors, they're sent back to their country. All right? That needs to happen on our island, guys. We need to take that Singapore. Do you realize I googled today and they said the death sentence for having firearms is death. That's the penalty in Singapore. So we need to take a rooted Juliana approach for this island to take it back, guys. We have lost our island. It's out of control, whether we want to admit it or not. Another nationality right now is running our country, guys. Whether as shameful as embarrassing as that is, we must accept it so we can take the country back. All right, I'm gonna stop for now, guys. These are suggestions. I talked about immigration reform, what the government needs to do, and I talked about what we need to do. And voila, guys, that's it for now. We'll stop and we're gonna go to there's a meeting in our community, but I want to attend that, and I hope my suggestions of what we need to do as civilians and what the government needs to do to get back our island. Right now it's gone. It's in the control. It's in the control of another nationality, whether we want to admit that or not. All right, take care. Bye bye.